to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Seer. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa on the Dr. Mumbi Show, Dr. Mumbi Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. I really want to thank every single person that has subscribed to this channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Special shout out to everyone who is on our Patreon spiritual family. We absolutely appreciate love you for supporting us on that platform. And yeah, so much is happening, beloveds. So we are doing 1 or 2 news shows, but not daily, never. But we are doing 1 or 2 news shows just to point, because in the space of like 24 hours, you know, on 7/7/21, which is 777, whoa. Not only was the Haitian president assassinated, one of the most, you know, the most powerful melanated nations in the Caribbean, who really their narrative has always been hijacked. They use some serious black magic to win their independence stories for other days. But at the same time, Jacob Zuma has submitted himself to start his 15-month prison sentence for being in contempt of court. And, you know, so many people, the Mzungus and everyone are celebrating. But the reason I bring this to your attention, beloveds, is because there's so much that's being orchestrated out there. And so many of our people's minds are hooked to the narrative that Babylon is giving them about their people. But right now, there is a diabolical government in place. This is the New World Order, and they are orchestrating everything because they want to, you know, conquer Africa. And the thing is, as you can see from the title, you know, Jacob Zuma is the last black president. Some would say the first and last, because, you know, we know Mandela. Yeah, I'll leave that. I've said so much about Mandela. I'll just leave that one aside for now. But there's a famous prophet called Credwo, and if you don't know who Credwo is, I highly recommend that you know, get his books, find out. He was one of the greatest seers and prophets of our time. He was hounded by the reptilians, who are actually, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, controlling this world from just one level higher, you know, and kind of blocking many people from reaching those higher dimensions and the, you know, ancient ones and our beloved cosmic ancestors in those higher dimensions. So they are the ones who are empowering, you know, the vampires that rule the world right now. But he talked a lot, you know, he was amazing. He predicted like 9/11, many things. But he lived a very tortured life. But one of the things that he said is that Jacob Zuma would be the last black president of South Africa. And he said also, which is a bit, you know, nerve-wracking, he also said that South Africa would determine the destiny of the world, and that, you know, something about Africa being, you know, the final decision-making place, like we don't know. And that's what he was seeing coming in the future. And so now, with the arrest of Jacob Zuma, beloveds, knowing what one of our greatest prophets has said, it should really wake up every South African, beloveds. Because the day that you allowed the controlled opposition of Malema and EFF to stand up and say that you wanted your land back, it was literally a declaration of war. And, you know, it's like the Mzungus were just checking to see how many people were on board, where were South Africans. Why do you think South Africa has been the hardest hit by this pandemic? Why do you think that the harshest lockdowns that have happened across Africa, I mean, most African presidents can't lock down their nations. I think it's only Rwanda and South Africa. I'm not sure, because I'm not really in the news like that, beloveds. I'm in nature. I'm in the wilderness right now. But why is it? Because when you said you wanted your land back and you were just talking, but you weren't organized, And the people who were talking and getting you emotional and getting you to reveal your hand, because that's what Malema's EFF did. They made you reveal your hand prematurely when you weren't organized. Yeah, you want your land back. How are you going to go about that? Do you have your Black Panther and your, civil rights movement like they did in the armed wing and the non-armed wing? I'm just saying. South Africa, these are perilous times. It's not a good sign. Mandela was never for you. I mean, it's not even, we don't even know which Mandela. Let me say President Mandela. Let me correct myself there. Because the Mandela that went into jail is not the Mandela that came out and became president. Ramaphosa is definitely not for you. He was made who he was by the Mzungus through the Black Empowerment Program. And he's always had an agenda against Zuma. I mean, if you look at him, there was something that I had seen where he was at a very critical point twice when big things have happened in South Africa. But, beloved South Africans, look what's been happening with the Zulu nation. War is already upon you. And the war is here, and here, and here. These are perilous times. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Dr. Mumbi's spiritual show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. I'm talking about how one of our greatest prophets, Credwo Mutwa, predicted, not even prophesied, it wasn't a prediction, prophesied that Jacob Zuma would be the last Black president in South Africa. And with seeing him starting to serve his 15-month jail sentence, that should leave every South African uneasy. See who's celebrating. It's not the people that look like you and me, although the ignorant ones among us, yes, the sheeple. But those who know the dynamics of everything that are not going on, this should ring all kinds of alarm bells. Because as I was saying before the break, the minute you said you wanted your land back, and you were aggressively talking about it, but physically, you saw what happened. You saw what happened in the last election when EFF got the people all riled up. We're going to take our land back. We're going to take our land back. And the next thing, the Israelis are there training the Mzungus to keep their land. The war is ongoing, beloveds, in South Africa right now. And the war isn't physical, although there are dimensions of it that are physical. But it's not just physical. That's what I should say. It's spiritual and mental. And as I say this, I'm just feeling this unease for my people, beloveds. Because the enemy of your lands is way more organized than you. And Africa, we haven't lost because we didn't have the power, because we didn't have this, because we didn't have that. We've lost partially because we've not been organized and we haven't come together. And it's not about coming together to do anything physical. Look what happened when you guys wanted to do the Ancestors Day. How the, Mzungu from nowhere, this video went viral because he was saying, they're calling on their demons. They see your ancestors as demons, beloveds. And they were like, they're calling on their demons, so we have to come out, every church, everything, block this, block that. Just because you wanted to have an Ancestors Day. We've been like... Dear South Africans, you've never been free. Apartheid didn't end. It just moved from political apartheid to economic apartheid. Just like colonialism didn't end here in Kenya. I'm not even judging. I don't even know where this spirit is coming through, I mean, because I just feel such an urgency, like it almost feels like the spirit of the ancestors. Like the freedom, they gave it to you because it was time, and they knew that if they didn't control your liberation, you would win and you would take over and you would have liberated the rest of Africa. So they hijacked the independence movement. They made it a Hollywood blockbuster. Mandela coming out of jail, groomed, and then, what becomes president and just wants peace, love, and unity. It was all a lie. It was all a movie. But the whole thing was hijacked. And so they got very uneasy when Jacob Zuma came in. And so they probably enticed him. You know what I mean? All our leaders are compromised across Africa, beloveds. They get you. If it's not money, it's women. If it's not women, it's something else. Because most of our leaders are vibrating so low, or they trap you. I've been talking about Confessions of an Economic Hitman for like the last 5 years. You guys need to read that book and really understand and understand how this whole thing works. I mean, it's not a game. It's a military occupation of a foreign peoples over our land. And the minute people start getting that and stop thinking just because they can wear Western clothes, they can have the Western things, they can have their money, they can go to the supermarket and go do this and go do that, that they're free, is the greatest lie ever. It's the wrong kind of freedom that many of our people are pursuing. In fact, we're more enslaved than ever. Because our minds are just... And so the minute our brothers and sisters in South Africa start to recognize that, this is, it's getting serious out there. And remember, you don't need everybody, but you need a certain number of people to come together on one spiritual accord. And that will help to align all rich, poor Africans, South Africans, whatever. Those who are for you, those who are against you, because first it was the Zulu nation. And now it's Zuma. And don't forget, so much is happening, even Swaziland with the push for democracy. Beloveds, see this for what it is. It is a foreign invasion. The invasion is not with bombs and ships and guns. The invasion is with foreign ideologies and foreign philosophies that put us at the bottom of the pyramid. So it will never work out for us. When you realize that the apartheid system didn't end, it just went into the other room and put on a new outfit and came back out as economic apartheid, maybe that will be the wake-up call that many of our people need. Until next time, tuko pamoja.